Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident, 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 confident. I can be confident at work.
Hello and welcome to the Confident at Work podcast. I'm your host and your confidence coach, Anna Manning, and I love it that you're with me. So, today I'm busting a myth which comes up fairly frequently, and that is that being confident equals being loud, being extroverted, always being outspoken, like being the loudest person in the room. And I, for one, don't think that that's true. So, where does this belief actually come from? Like, I don't think anybody ever sat us down and told us, FYI, confidence equals being the loudest person in the room. But maybe society has quietly taught us this message that the loud, the domineering, maybe the extroverted, the ones who think out loud, are the confident ones. So, if we're feeling lacking in confidence or low on confidence, and we have this belief, even if it's subtly in the back of our minds, we're going to be looking at those people and thinking, that's what I should be like. I need to be like one of those people. But I think this is a very dangerous belief because it sets you off down completely the wrong track. So when you're thinking about building your confidence and you think the way that I'm going to do that is by looking like, sounding like, and being like one of these people, maybe the loudest person, maybe the most extrovert person, maybe the one who always speaks first, speaks last, speaks most, and that just isn't you, you're setting yourself up to fail. You're starting off from completely the wrong premise, completely the wrong place. And I don't think when you start off from the wrong place with the wrong premise that you're ever actually going to get to where you want, which is feeling more confident at work, being more confident at work. I think we have to scrap that premise completely so that you can recenter and start off from a more correct place. And for me, that place is this: I am who I am. I am how I am. And I will still be that when I am more confident at work. Now, that doesn't mean that some of the things that I do won't be different. They might be, but I want you to start from knowing this. You can be who you are and be confident at work. You can be who you are and make the kind of impact you want to make. You can be who you are and lead in the way you want to lead. You can be who you are and speak up. Maybe your version of confident looks totally different from somebody else's. Maybe it looks quietly confident. Maybe it doesn't look or sound like the loudest person in the room. Maybe your version of confident looks and sounds totally different from that. And I would hate for you to be thinking that your version of confident at work looks like something which just isn't you, whether that's the loudest or the most extrovert or the one that always talks. If that's not you, that's not going to be the most confident version of you either. Because what happens if you start off with that premise that the confident version of you is like the confident version of somebody else? And actually, we don't know whether they're confident or not. We just know that they might speak more, they might speak louder, they might be more extroverted, whatever. And we're assuming that us confident looks and sounds like that. So what happens if that's your working assumption? You will try and fit, fake, push, white knuckle your way to a weird, fake, false version of you or of somebody else. Now tell me, is that ever going to be the grounded, in your bones, confident version of you? I know it's not. I think you probably know it's not too. There is a lot of advice out there that says fake it, pretend. if this is what you're focused on, if your belief is, I should look like one of these people, then I think you're barking up the wrong tree. All of these things say, focus on what it sounds like and on what it looks like. And I say, fuck that. Because if you're focused on what it sounds like, on what it looks like, and on faking and forcing into some mold of somebody who isn't you, it's never really going to work. And maybe it might get you so far, but it won't get you all the way to being, to feeling confident at work, to knowing in your bones that you belong at this table, in this role, in this organization, doing this thing that you're here to do. All the faking and forcing and pushing and being someone else can never get you there. It may get you somewhere, but it will never get you to know in your bones, yes. To feel in yourself confident, calm, in control. It can't get you there. It just doesn't lead to that destination. The truth is that confidence does not have one volume setting or one type of person. It can be quiet, it can be thoughtful, it can be questioning, it can be honest, it can be feeling. It doesn't just have to be bold and brash and loud and domineering. Maybe that's a lie that we've all been told. And it's a myth that I certainly want to dispel. At its core, confidence is trust in yourself, is self-trust in action. And when you really trust yourself, you won't be faking it and forcing it and trying to be like somebody else, will you? You'll be trusting myself, my way, who I am is okay. Maybe even it's pretty damn good. Who I am, how I am is what I need and what they need. And the more you can trust that and lean back into that, the better. Now, I'm not saying that in every kind of environment, who and how you are will be appreciated fully. It might not. You might be in an environment where only the brash, only the bold, only the loud ever get heard, but you might not. And it's worth just thinking about whether you can see or hear other people in your organization who you think maybe are a bit more like you in their style, in their way, in who and how they are a bit more like you. And are they operating as themselves? When I ask that question, there's usually somebody that people can call to mind. Somebody maybe who is quieter, who's thoughtful, who doesn't say the most or speak the loudest, but what they have to say is definitely worth listening to. And people listen. Do you know someone like that? Is there someone like that in your organization? Because if there is, they prove that it's possible to be who you are and how you are, and for it to work, for you to succeed, and for you to be and feel confident at work. If that person's confident and they're like you, it can't be true that in order to be confident, you have to be the loudest, brashest, boldest, most talkative person in the room. So what happens if we rethink this? The only way you can actually build real confidence is from who and how you actually are. I've seen way too many people try it the other way to tell you anything different. Believe me, you can get so far by faking and forcing. You really can. But you may still end up at my door in 3 years wondering why you still not quite cracked it. And I'd rather, frankly, that you didn't go through that pain. And that might mean that you have to close your ears to the thing that you might have believed before, i.e., that confidence equals loud, extroverted, outspoken. And it may be that it's time for a rethink about what you and your confident at work looks and feels like. And a question I love to ask people is, when you think about your way of interacting with people, what kind of presence do you want to be? Is it loving and strong? Is it bright and light? Is it grounded and anchoring? I don't know. What is it for you? In your most natural way, at your best, what kind of presence is it that you bring? Because if the truth of it isn't that you bring a loud, extroverted, outspoken presence, then I'm gently going to invite you to just scrap the idea that you're ever going to do that or that you ever should do that. My God, I don't think the world needs another loud, extroverted, outspoken person. I think we've got plenty of them already. But maybe the world, your workplace, your team, your colleagues, your clients needs a presence like yours. So if you have been thinking or even trying to be a louder voice in the room when actually your power comes from somewhere else, what would it look like to be confidently you? What kind of presence do you bring when you're confidently you? What's your vibe when you're confidently you? What do you bring to situations when you're confidently you? If you would like to come and work with me, there are a few ways of doing that now. The first is for professional women, and that is within the Confident at Work membership. The membership is designed for people just like you who want to be more confident at work and who just might need a bit of support and a few tools in order to do it. The second way to work with me is to come and work privately, one-on-one. We figure out what your challenges are and we figure out how to solve them together. The next way is with your group or with your organization. I love going into organizations, businesses, working with groups or teams to train you, to coach you, to help you think about how all of you can be and feel more confident at work. Head to the links in the show notes and get in touch. And until next week, I want you to think about what it would look like and sound like and be like to be confidently you. See you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident. Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident at work.